I'll get Jay to want to start the show. Bri, Messa.
Hello. Hello, friend. Well, hello, little girl. Hello, my treacherous friends. Hello, operator. The beginning of everything. Welcome back, my friends. It's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Brink of Sanity, episode 314. I am Jay, and with me is Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hi.
And Bri. Hi, Bri.
Hi.
All
We
right.
got that many shows.
Maybe each episode, I don't know what number we're on, but maybe each episode we should say
just
hi
said
in a
it.
different language.
Do you listen to anything I say? I just said the name of the number of the episode.
No, I'm not going to start listening to you now.
Yeah, I guess we're 300 episodes in. Why start now?
That's right.
What episode are we on?
314.
So have we planned yet our celebration for episode 300?
Not yet. We're almost there.
So I was just telling Jay before we started the show, I don't know who's a big Game of Thrones fan out there. I am up to date on the episodes. Jay is not up to date. Bri has not seen the show or heard of it.
Nope.
We were talking about doing maybe like a Brink of Sanity episode after he reviewing the episodes of this season once he's watched it. But I was also telling Jay that there's a Game of Thrones podcast I was listening to where they said after the most recent episode of Game of Thrones, they had 70,000 downloads in one day, which is a tiny bit more than we get in one day. And so we were saying
close.
that close, very, very close, not quite 70,000 in one day. So we were saying that maybe it would be helpful if we picked a show that's going to be big and start a podcast about that show would probably be a good idea. So what show should we do a podcast about?
So that's our listeners' homework. Find the next phenomenon.
Well, what's on TV now that's like so if we caught Game of Thrones in season 2 or 3, that would have been fine. We don't have to get it on season 1. But
It's
there are
better
any shows,
if you do, though.
Well, yeah, it's better if you get it from episode 1, right?
Because
But
somebody
are we-
else is going to do
Most
it.
of the popular shows are those dopey reality contest shows.
I mean, those shows probably get lots of downloads also, but I don't want to.
There's not a lot of like scripted shows that people really rave about.
I bet if you were doing the Bachelor podcast, you'd get like 70,000 downloads in a day. People are insane. So what's on TV now that has potential?
I don't think there's anything that's that epic. Like, there's a lot of good shows. Like, Killing Eve is really good.
We just watched the first episode of that one, of season 1. But I can't see that being an epic show. I'm one episode in. I'm sure it gets really better, but I don't know is that going to be really an epic show?
No, that's what I'm saying. There's good shows, but I don't think there's anything like a you need a phenomenon for that idea to work.
I don't even watch anything, so I don't even know what would be.
Game of Thrones is really the last phenomenon where like that, because that was obviously like not everyone, but like that's one of the shows where you feel like a good amount of people are watching.
I wouldn't say the last phenomenon. It's like every few years something comes out, like Breaking Bad or Lost.
Yeah, it's the current one.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean last. I mean the most like once it's gone, there won't be like someone else has to emerge. There's no current other show that would be like fit that category.
Yeah, we just have to keep an eye out for it.
But don't you feel also the way with all these, we have 8 million TVs, 8 million like streaming services, everything's so, there's so many options out there that's even harder for a show to break through.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's a lot of shows out now.
That HBO show, what was it, Westworld? I think they were hoping that would be that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That show's kind of mediocre.
Yeah, everyone seemed really into it for the first season, then I didn't hear anything about it after that.
Oh, I turned the second season on. I was 10 minutes into it, and I was like, I freaking hate this show, and just turned it off, and I haven't watched since.
Huh.
It's the entire show. Have you watched it?
No.
The entire basic show is, can a robot become human? Let's find out.
That's never been done before.
Yeah. So it's right. So it's first of all, it's kind of steals from Battlestar Galactica. But it just wasn't that good.
I think people try to make True Detective one of those shows.
Yeah.
The show's just terrible. It's like...
I heard the first season was amazing, and then it was terrible.
No, it wasn't even... It wasn't. There was like one episode that was really good because there was this big shootout scene that they leaked after the show was on, that they did it all in one take. And so when you watch it, you're like, wow, that was awesome. And then it was just like... like some smarmy like reviewer from like the New Yorker or the New York Times said it's a good show and it's a smart show, so everybody had to like fall in line to be like, oh yeah, this show is so deep and it's so smart. It was so boring. I mean, there was nothing to it.
It was basically just a cop show where one of the cops, Matthew McConaughey, was just like
Out of his
out,
mind. Yeah.
out of his goddamn mind. Everything was so deep to him, and he was just like, it was as if Matthew McConaughey took acid the entire show.
Yeah.
Knowing
And we're
Matthew
just
McConaughey did do that.
What'd you say?
So knowing Matthew McConaughey did do acid during the show.
Well, wasn't the what's the movie where Leonardo DiCaprio plays that the Wolf of Wall Street? You see that?
Where he
No.
plays the rich guy every one of his movies.
Okay, so the star of the movie is Leonardo DiCaprio's character getting advice from a guy who's like a seasoned stock trader, and he basically one of the things he does, he basically bangs on the table or beats his chest and starts chanting, and it's like a very weird scene. And it turns out this is what Matthew McConaughey actually does every time before he gets on set always, just like pump himself up.
Mm,
They just use his real thing for the show, for the movie.
weird.
But yeah, there's as far as shows, yeah, the True Detective one, it was like the first season was good, nothing amazing, and then the second season's a whole totally different show.
I actually didn't mind the second season. I know most people hated it, but
I
It
didn't watch.
wasn't,
I was gonna like watch it, like binge it, and then everyone I knew said it was terrible, so I was like, well, I'm not gonna catch up on that one.
yeah, it was kind of, there was a lot of like low, boring parts, but there were some parts where it was kind of exciting. But
How was the third season?
I didn't watch the third season.
People said the third season was pretty good. Basically, the whole show, at least the first season, was just like it's like a cop show, but a little like we're also gonna higher than that. I don't know.
Well, you guys were actually onto something when Mr. Robot started, because you guys were like the first people talking about it. You guys should have started the podcast then before the show went to complete dog shit.
You
yeah,
mean
that's the thing. You can't have like one good season and have it be a successful show.
Well, you didn't know at the time that it was going to go downhill.
Yeah.
that's true? I mean, but midway through the second season, I would have asked Jay if we could cancel the show, and and Jay would be like, "You mean cancel the podcast? No, come with me. I'm going to kill the director."
Did anybody make it to the third season?
I think I watched the first episode of the third season, and then that was it.
I watched the first like 3, and then I realized I did not care.
They actually the last episode you find out it's all a dream.
Isn't that like
I
every
find
other
that-
episode?
No, I'm just, but that's what it should have been. Like that's the first season and the second season had those dumb like Fight Club moves.
I find that most shows I watch, like I've just I just went through my DVR one day and I was looking at all the shows that I either had or like hadn't watched or was recording, and I was just like, I don't care about any of these shows anymore. Like Mark, you were talking about Brockmire. Like I watched the first season and the second season came on, and I was like, I really don't care. Delete. And then like I was watching Billions. Now I'm like 4 episodes behind. I was like, I really don't care about this show anymore.
So
like most of them, I just don't care.
Brockmire, Bry was talking about that show for a while. Like, hey, you guys seen it? Have you guys seen it? It's really funny. And so then I had Hulu, and it's on Hulu. I was like, oh, let me check it out. Bry recommended it. The first episode is hilarious.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh shit, there was like I think it was 1 or 2 lines that kind of stuck with me. Like I thought it were just absolutely hilarious lines from the show. And I was like, this is gonna be a really good show. Great call, Bry. And I asked Bry about it, and he's like, oh, I stopped watching after the first season. And I was like, oh.
It was through no real fault of the show. I just didn't care anymore.
Well, I knew once you said that the show had to fall off a little bit. And by like, I watched a few more episodes, and all the other episodes were like they were okay. Like the high point so far of the show was the
Yeah.
season for me.
I mean, to
series-
be fair though, I just didn't even watch the second. It wasn't even like I watched it and I didn't like it. I just delete. Like it's just like I don't even feel like watching this anymore. So it's probably more me than the show,
No, but it's also the first season wasn't good enough that you were like, let me watch the second season.
I guess.
Yeah.
You watch a show though, like, but when you're watching a show and then like a year goes by and it comes back, you're just like, wait, why did I like this? Like, really, like,
Yeah, it does take a lot out of it when it's a year removed.
Yeah.
But that show also, I can already see like it's not bad, but it's not nearly as funny as it was, right? Like
yeah, no, the pilot was like the highlight, and then
the premise, for those who don't know, the premise of the show is Brockmire is he was a broadcaster. Basically, he catches his wife cheating, loses his shit on the air, becomes an alcoholic, and then ends up basically becoming a broadcaster for a minor league team. and
Working his way back.
And that's the basic premise, and he's an asshole basically, and there's a team owner he gets it on with.
Yeah.
Jay, is there anything else? What else is on TV now that has any potential? Like, what's on Netflix now that has potential?
I don't think there's anything. I think we missed the boat on Stranger Things.
Yeah, I don't know if that really has potential. That's pretty good. That's a good show. I don't know if that's like the problem also with Netflix is that because it comes out all at once. Doing a podcast after it, there's not a. I guess you could do a podcast after it anyway.
That's a good point, though. You would need something that has a slow release.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to, but it makes it better.
Yeah, I guess you could do like one episode per episode, but people already like, I don't know if they're going to care like 10 weeks later what your opinion on it is.
Yeah. Do you think if you get an audience, if you did like you went back to a classic show, like you did the Sopranos podcast, each week we watch an episode of Sopranos and did a podcast on it?
Maybe.
But the problem is, who's looking for a Sopranos podcast right now? Let's
do a Perfect Strangers podcast.
Well, Sopranos is popular now because it's been 20 years since it started. So there is a little. It's not like just picking a random show. There is some buzz to the Sopranos at this time.
Okay, I mean, it's also. I mean, The Ringer does. So The Ringer, Bill Simmons Network, they have something called Binge Worthy, and they do go through shows that aren't necessarily. I think they did Game of Thrones like after it was on for a while, and then I think that now they're caught up. What
you gotta do is do a podcast for like a show where you do a podcast like right before the new season starts, and you just recap the previous season.
Yeah, that's true. Also, okay.
The thing is, we're talking about starting a new podcast when we don't even record this one.
That's right. We already have two. You guys already have two podcasts,
and we're like complaining about both of them at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so the best shows of 2019,
and people already hate me on both of them, so I don't want to be on a third one.
Yeah. So according to, let me see. Plus
Jay's love music thing, so we are kind of stretching ourselves thin here.
I think Jay's love music is dead now.
Oh, it is?
Jay, is it dead?
I'm not sure. It's on hiatus.
Jay, don't you have like a 45-hour flight coming up that you can listen to and review a lot of music?
I do, yeah. A week from today.
Yeah. Speaking of music, can I ask you guys a really stupid question?
Sure.
That's what the show is for.
Okay. What is Spotify? Is Spotify more Pandora or more Apple Music?
Pandora.
Okay.
Well, wait. Why is it different? What's different? What's the difference between that and Apple Music?
Well, like Apple Music, like I pay a subscription and I can listen to basically anything that's in Apple Music at any time that I want, and I can download it to like my phone or my iPad or whatever. But like if I listen to Pandora, I just click a station and it plays random music like that. Is that like what Spotify is?
Oh, I think Spotify can do either.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it definitely has that. I think there's a free and a paid version. The free version may be more Pandora, and the paid version may be more Apple Podcast. So I think there's a paid version of Pandora that does the same thing now also.
Oh, okay. Like I feel so stupid. I don't know half of these things people are talking about all the time.
See, the thing is with the Spotify, it's good because you can listen to anything, but if you get like the subscription one, you're paying $10 a month, and the company's not profitable right now. So that's why I would rather just buy an album, because then I have it. But like if Spotify goes under, you just spent $10 a month and then you have nothing.
Yeah, like I have Apple Music, and you can just go with anything in iTunes and just listen to it anytime you want, and you could download it. You could download it to your stuff, but like if you cancel it, like you can't burn it to like a CD or anything. If you cancel it, it deletes it all.
What's the difference, Jay? Let's say you put that $10 a month to Spotify and Spotify goes under, then you just take your $10 a month, give it to Apple, and you'll have the music anyway. Like the format's still going to be there.
And then what if that goes under? Like I like having the actual files. I don't trust spending money to.
What's the difference?
Yeah,
like
Apple is on the fringe of going out of business.
I mean, what's the difference whether you have Apple, whether you have...
only if Jay buys stock in it will it go out of business.
Yeah, Jay, please don't buy stock in Apple. I have some stock in Apple. Please don't screw us up. Jay, what's the difference? If like, why do you have to actually physically possess it? What if your apartment burns down? You don't have it anymore.
I have all my music on a little hard drive, so I'll just grab that.
There's a better chance that Apple stays in business versus your building is more likely to catch fire than Apple is to go under.
Yeah, but like, do you need
Jay buys stock in Apple and it goes under? It both might happen at the same time.
do you need to have an online connection?
Can you download?
Once you can download it to like your phone or your iPad or your computer, and you can play it. But as long as you have a subscription, once you cancel your subscription, you can't.
But how do they know if you have a subscription if you're not connected online?
Well, because you use your Apple ID.
It probably has to reconnect every 30 days, or something like that, or a certain amount of time. Like I know, like for I think for Netflix, when you watch stuff offline, when you download it, you have to be back online within a certain amount of time, or else it also goes away.
Jay, do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
All right. So if you hit the music button,
mm-hmm.
and then you go into Apple Music, it'll list there. If you have it, if you could sign up for 3 free months, and then you just click, here's whoever, and then you just hit it and download. You hit download, and it downloads into your like cloud. Where anything where you have your Apple ID, you can access that music.
Do they have a wide range of stuff? Like, let's say, do they have a lot of shitty stuff no one's ever heard of? Because that's Jay's favorite category.
It's like going into iTunes to buy a song. It's got like everything.
Jay, you also realize by getting one of these services, you don't have to give up the music you already have.
Yeah.
Like
right.
Jay thinks like, well, if I sign
like the only
up,
thing
I have to give up my music.
it's a protected file. So like if you download it to your computer, you can't burn a CD out of it because it's like a protected file. I'm sure somebody knows a way around it. So you just have it, and then if you cancel it, then it just goes away.
Yeah, that's the other thing. When you have that, it's in the Apple format.
Well, Jay, what are you using it for? Like, you get to keep the music you already have.
What are you listening to it on vinyl over there?
Yeah, like what do you need the music? Like, instead of buying new music, you pay $10 a month, and you get all the new music you want.
I don't like it.
What's your problem with the format?
Well, what if I don't always have Apple?
You could
get it to your computer.
What's your other scenario, Jay? If you don't
if
you
have iTunes on your computer,
are you planning on stealing it or paying for it? Are you paying per album? What are you planning on doing?
I do a little of each.
So, but you don't really pay per album, do you?
Some I do, some I don't.
Jay's like, I don't want to know I have to pay $10 a month to Apple when I could steal it for free.
No, there's some bands I buy the music, and there's some bands I don't.
Okay.
Like I just typed in the Muppets, Jay, and there's like 12, at least 12.
So you know, Jay, how an album cost, like when we were younger, like a CD. I don't know what they cost now, but they would be like $17 for an album.
Yeah.
So you could pay $17 to get the album, or if you pay for $10 a month to Apple, Apple will give that band a penny.
So Jay, let's say the Dandy Warhols just came out with an album, and for some reason nobody knew about it because it didn't make the top 10.
Kind of like
Billboard magazine.
I mean, that would
kind
never
of like
happen.
so like Tree Falling in the Woods thing.
No, so like, do you go like www.dandywarhols.com? Oh, they have a CD out. I'm gonna buy it, ship it to my house, or do you just like go on iTunes and buy it there?
No, I usually buy it there.
So how much does it cost?
Where?
$10.
What?
$10? New albums are $10.
Okay, so for that you could have had an entire world of music for. I mean, do you think it's worth $120 a year to have an unlimited amount of music?
I mean, I basically have that now.
Fine, don't get Apple. Who gives a shit?
Can we move
Don't
on?
get it then.
I don't like this conversation.
So according to a site called Ranker.com, here are the top shows on the air currently.
We're still on this?
So Game of Thrones, which is already done, Stranger Things. What about Ozark?
I don't know anything about it.
I know Jason Bateman's in it. That's all I know.
It's actually pretty good, but I don't know if it's really podcast worthy. There's something called Lucifer, Big Little Lies, Handmaid's.
I watched Lucifer when it was on Fox. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible.
Do you guys want to run with a show that do a podcast about a show that wasn't terrible?
Well, let's see what else we have here.
There's Westworld, Peaky Blinders, Haunting of Hill House, The Punisher, Better Call Saul, That's pretty far into it though. Season 5.
God, I haven't watched any of these.
Jay, you've watched Better Call Saul, right?
Yeah, I stopped after season 2.
Oh, it got better actually. I've caught up now. It's
Everyone
pretty good.
keeps saying that, but I don't want to watch a show about Jimmy. I don't.
No, it gets better and it gets better and better. Like,
but
he gets
I don't care about Jimmy.
Okay, then don't watch it. But it does get a lot better. I was actually surprised it got a lot better.
They should just call the show Better Call Jimmy.
There's nothing on here. The 100 actually is number 18 on the list, but I don't think I could possibly watch that. Jay, do you select the 100?
That was another one. I got 4 episodes into season 3 and said, you know what, I don't care anymore.
So there's really nothing on here. Narcos is a good show, but
the odds of me doing a third podcast are slim to none anyway.
Well, we could cancel this one.
Unless you could figure out how to get your kids to be quiet like 3 hours earlier in the night.
if you could figure that out, I would come over here and do it for me.
I told you how to do it. You buy them a PlayStation and you say play for an hour.
No, play them. There's a podcast that's supposed to put you to sleep. Just play it for them. It's not ours. It's actually a real one.
I was going to say, is it called The Brink of Sanity?
No, there really is a podcast where the guy just reads boring stuff to put you to sleep.
There you go.
I think it's called Sleep With Me or something like that.
So what else? What else is going on? I want to bring a. I don't really want to do this, but I kind of want to do it at the same time. I'm not going to do this, but I want to bring a class action lawsuit against Manischewitz. You know who Manischewitz?
I have no idea who that is.
I thought Manischewitz was like a soup or something.
Manischewitz is a company that produces Jewish foods, and in particular, they produce things for Passover, kosher for Passover.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys know what Passover it is?
Yeah, it's the Jewish Easter, right?
Yeah, basically Jewish Easter. It's built on the Jews were slaves in Egypt, and when they escaped Egypt, they were running out of Egypt. Their bread could not rise, and the bread instead stayed flat, and the flat bread is called matzah.
Are all your holidays just a complete miserable downer?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's called being Jewish. Everything's a downer. Our best holiday is, that oil lasted for a couple extra days. Wonderful.
All my Jewish friends are like...
Our best holiday is, hey, it's not Christmas.
Yeah, all my Jewish friends, I'm like, oh, what are you doing for your holiday? We're just going to sit around and be sad.
So I have a whole theory on that also. Like, I think we should market our holidays better. Like, so Christmas, we put Hanukkah versus Christmas, and that's not a fair fight. Like, Christmas just kicks the shit out of Hanukkah. Even my kids are like, I get 8 presents, but Christmas looks awesome. Like, stop looking at Christmas. We're Jewish. Give it up. So what I would do is I would take Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is the worst Jewish holiday. It's the holiday we don't eat for 24 hours.
Are you even pronouncing it right?
Yom Kippur. Why? What do you think it is?
I thought it was Yom Kippur.
Oh, fuck you, non-Jew. Anyway, so like not eating for 24 hours, that normally, if you head to head with a normal Tuesday, that loses, right? So I take Yom Kippur and I have that go against Christmas. We're going to lose the day. You might as well just have your worst day go against Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Then I take Hanukkah and I put Hanukkah. What's that holiday where you guys give up something?
Lent, but it's not a holiday.
Yeah. We don't give up anything.
It's
whatever.
It's like 40 days. No, it's 40 days. You're supposed to give up something for 40 days, but everyone's like, I'm gonna give up Arabian kumquats. They do something that's like they weren't gonna have anyway. So.
I'm gonna give up kale.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, when you guys are going like, I'm gonna pretend not to eat chocolate, I'm gonna be like, we get 8 presents, bitch. Yeah. Oh, you have a rabbit that has eggs? Whatever. That sucks. We get presents. You go against your weaker holidays with Hanukkah. That's what I would do.
So you're redesigning the whole calendar is what you're doing.
I'm going to redesign the whole calendar a more strategic way because I don't want to have Hanukkah go against Christmas. We got to market ourselves better.
I'm sure that'll fly.
Anyway, so Passover is this holiday. So we were slaves in Egypt. Yada yada. We escaped. Everything's about a downer in Jewish religion, and like you celebrate by eating this. Basically, part of celebrating is for the 8 days of Passover. You do not eat bread or bread-like products, and there's like a whole debate of what counts. Like there's a certain.
So you pretend you have celiac disease. That's what you do.
Yeah, basically. So there's a certain sect of Judaism who who believes you can eat rice, and there's a certain sect that says you do not eat rice, and blah blah blah. But anyway, so there's a company called Manischewitz, and they make a lot of products that are kosher for Passover. So you go to the supermarket, you're buying stuff, you end up buying a lot of Manischewitz brand. They also make wine for the holiday, and
I have a
like
question.
Really, sure.
Why do you do all this? It seems like so much effort and not fun stuff. Like, what are you getting out of it, really?
Almost nothing. I mean, why do I believe in hocus pocus?
You mean like Jewish stuff or this story? Like, what are we talking about, Jay?
It's like Jewish stuff. Like, Mark seems very non-religious to me.
Could be any. Yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing is a complete fairy tale.
So why are you doing it?
So I look at it as more like
wasting time.
Yeah, I mean, what did you do? Anything religious?
No, because if I don't believe in it, what's the point?
Yeah.
So I look at it as more of a cultural thing. Like the only culture I identify with. Some people are like, I'm Irish, I drink, I'm Irish. Some people are like, we're Italian, we do this. The only culture we identify for as a family is being Jewish. All our people, in theory, came from our Jewish people, all have the same culture, and so following these holidays is what we do to celebrate our history, I guess.
But are you doing all this with family?
Yeah.
Or are you just making your kids suffer for no reason?
No. We get together. We have Passover has 2 seders where you get together with family.
This
Hanukkah,
is the only
you get together
reason.
with family. It's all about getting together with the family.
This is the only reason religion still exists. It's because of peer pressure from family members.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, I look at it as more of a cultural thing. We follow these stupid traditions because we've been doing it for a long time.
That's a really good reason.
Doesn't
to
make
keep
it
doing
right.
It. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna tell my kids no, you have to believe Jonah was in the whale and those kind of stupid stories. I'm not gonna pretend like this stuff is real. I'm not gonna care if my son's like, I didn't do my Hebrew school homework. I'd be like, great, let's go play basketball.
Just tell them the important stuff. Like, you guys, you run all the banks and you run Hollywood and all that stuff.
Yeah. So when Jonah was in the whale, he learned math and he uses that in finance now. So anyway, so the Manischewitz thing. So I go to the store to buy Passover stuff. Jay, you don't do anything for either of you guys do anything that's heritage related, cultural, whatever you're from?
Nope.
No.
Can you see any reason to? If you were Irish or
not even for money, I wouldn't do it.
You guys get together with family for any reason whatsoever?
No.
No.
I mean, I see my family on Christmas, but we don't do the religious stuff. We just exchange presents.
We don't do the religious, but why do you get together for Christmas? Why do you guys pick that random day?
Because we have the day off.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you guys don't believe it. Do you guys believe in Christmas?
No, but we're not doing. I'm not looking for bread that doesn't rise and all the shitty soup and all this other stuff you're doing.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say I'm not suing anyone, but you're right. My whole story is about suing someone.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, the Christmas thing is just a cultural thing. Your family gets together because your culture is that we all get together and give gifts on Christmas.
Right, but I'm not doing miserable things that are not fun.
But I do the one thing I like about it is just if it's an excuse for family to get together, I like that. I mean, the thing that's going to drive me crazy is the whole bar mitzvah thing where everyone throws. You guys know what a bar mitzvah is?
Yeah, your kid turns 13, then you spend the shitload of money and.
Yes, yeah. Basically, your kid turns 13,
becomes a man, right?
A boy or I guess a girl becomes a woman at age 13, which makes no sense. And at that point, you throw a party it's like that MTV show of My Sweet 16, basically, where they basically throw this gigantic party to honor you for no good reason. Then your family just wasted a ton of money for your family has taught you an important lesson about how to waste money.
Every culture has that though. Filipinos do for 18th birthday.
Why did you pick Filipinos? Those?
Because I went to a Filipino Sweet 18 a month ago. So.
Okay. Because that seems like a random one, but wouldn't that make? Yeah. She's the Eskimos do something at the age of 47.
I have a weird life. What can I say?
I was talking with my Danish friend, and they do something when the person turns 17.
There's a tribe in the middle of New Zealand that so at least if it was 18, it would make some sense. If Jews adjusted for inflation and said hey, being a man now is 18, So we throw you a big party, you go off to college. At least that would make some sense.
By the way, adjusting for inflation seems like a very Jewy thing to do. I'm surprised you guys haven't done that.
I want to
that
talk
part on the CPA test, Jay.
Yeah, Jay's like reading the exam. He's like, "How do you adjust bar mitzvahs for inflation?" You're like, "The fucking Jews do control everything."
Jay's like, I was taking this test, and it seems like the questions were asked by a bunch of Jews. So,
You have 3 matzahs and 2 gefilte fish.
So the what was I saying? The bar mitzvah thing I think is insane. I'm trying to fight.
Okay, how does this turn into you suing somebody?
Okay, so
yeah, can we get somewhere?
Yes,
Show's almost over.
So I go to buy this stuff. I go to the supermarket. I'm supposed to buy it. We have the Seder at my cousin's house, and I'm supposed to buy the dessert. I go to the store, and they have like cake mixes. You can make like cake or brownies, but Manischewitz versions. You're making, like,
they didn't have the icing in it, though.
It did not have the icing in it, which is goddamn bullshit false advertising. I still think it's insane that they show icing on the box.
Good
if they don't have it.
Callback from 70 episodes ago.
It was a classic one, the Funfetti one.
Andrew will get it, and nobody else.
So
maybe Lorenzo.
So basically, I go get the box. I get a thing of brownies. The box is like the size of a cereal box. It's like a pretty big box. And it says in the box, make 7 brownies. And I was like, that's a weird thing to say on a box this big. Okay, whatever. So I bring it home, and a huge cereal box, and a quarter of the box is the bag of mix, basically.
Okay, so it's like a bag of potato chips where like the whole thing's empty.
Yeah, so a quarter of the cereal box, basically, of cake mix or brownie mix is the brownie mix, and the other 3/4 is air. My wife also got like blueberry muffins she was going to make. The blueberry muffins by Manischewitz were like part air, part mix. And she was like, yeah, you're right. I feel like the boxes are actually bigger than they were last year, but there's still the same amount of stuff in there. And so there's also a law with consumer products, consumer goods like that, where you can only have so much air in a product. I don't know the exact number, the exact amount, but you can't like misrepresent. You can't give a giant box and give a small amount of item.
Does Lay's potato chips know that? Because their bags are all air.
Yeah, well, they're like probably right on the cusp of it. But that's why they have these laws, because like, or else you'd open a bag and just find out it's all air. So the Manischewitz people are clearly going, you know what? The Jews aren't going to sue us. Let's make our boxes bigger and fuck them.
That's what you get for buying Jew stuff.
Yeah,
right.
This might break my. I don't know if I'd be an awful person if I start a class action to sue the #1 Jewish foods for Passover company, but I want to take those fuckers down for this shit.
Here's the thing: if you just bought a different brand of cake, would anybody know?
I mean, here's the thing about desserts on Passover: they all taste shitty. So if someone had the dessert and they were like, "This tastes good," you obviously didn't go with Passover brand.
Again, why are all your holidays miserable? You can't even have a good cake. What's wrong with you people? I
don't know. It's just the Passover holiday. It's that holiday when we eat like shittier food, and then the Yom Kippur we don't eat for 24 hours. I mean, the Hanukkah you get like presents for 8 days.
This is nuts.
So you're not going to convert, Jay?
You did not sell me. No.
Probably. No, I don't think so.
Were you sold them being Filipino?
I mean, that girl looked like she got thousands of dollars. Although her parents spent thousands, so it's good for the young kid, bad for the parents.
Yeah, well, that's what a lot of like the bar mitzvahs, they do the same thing. Is the parents spend all this money, and then everyone gives the kid money, and the kid's like, "Look how much money I got," and the parent, I don't know why the parents would ever give them the money. All the money you're getting from the
guest, like a wedding.
Yeah. It's idiotic. Like that money you're getting back is just you pay back the parents. They're the ones paying for it. Anyway, my goal is to make a very small. I actually want to, instead of doing a bar mitzvah for my kids, I want to go on a trip, because a trip would be actually cheaper than we'd have to pay for a bar mitzvah. We can go on a pretty cool trip instead.
Yeah,
I think that sounds like a better idea. I'm going to have to convince them though.
All right.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. So I want to sue. Bri, you on board? You want to sue Manischewitz?
I ain't getting involved in any Jewish lawsuits.
Saying in a Jewish lawsuit, is that redundant? They done done. What's new with you guys?
So they're redoing the subway station right by my apartment. They're basically redoing the stairs, adding an elevator, and like making the platform fancier.
Are they taking all the dirt that they're digging up and putting it in your apartment?
No, but do you know how long
Just the mold.
They're like, where do we throw this stuff? I don't know. There's a black mold place we can put everything in.
Do you know how long it's taking them to redo this one subway station?
Well, hang on. Do they shut down?
It was like 8 months, wasn't it?
I've been to the subway station by your house. Are they shutting down the subway station?
Yes.
Oh, they're shutting it down?
It's shut down.
How?
Is that the one I was going to take if I stayed at your house?
Well, I mean, the other subway station's like, a 5-minute walk away. It's not like the end of the world. It's just, but the one like the 30-second walk away is not there.
Gotcha.
Did they say like reasons for doing this? We just don't like Jay.
No, they've been doing.
They're like reasons for redoing the station. It says we're fans of Brink and we thought it'd be funny.
No, I mean they redid 4 other stops on that line already. Now it's just my turn.
Well, why are they redoing the subway stop near you? Is it like supposed to be a fancier place for bums to piss?
It is basically a way for them to spend millions of dollars and not make the subway run any better, but to burn through the budget.
But really, what's the point? I've been to your subway stop. It looks fine. It's fine. There's no reason to redo it.
That they're redoing all the subway stops because I think they're just burning. They're using up the budget so they could raise the fees again, which they did last week.
What do they? How much is it now?
I think the single ride is the same, but the monthly went up $6. And I did the math. It's a complete wash now. You used to get a really good deal if you got a monthly. Now it's a complete wash. So next time it goes up, it'll actually be better to just get cash on your card instead of a monthly pass.
The LIR, the Long Island Railroad, they also just went up also.
I swear the Long Island Railroad goes up every single time I go home to visit my parents.
You go other places. If you go to Washington, D.C., it's immaculate. It's all beautiful. Everything's so nice. You go to New York and like it looks like shit. Once in a while they clean it, like spend all this money, but it doesn't run any better.
No. So anyway, the answer, did you guys guess?
What was the question?
How long the subway stop's down for?
Forever?
Let me see. I bet it's down for 4 weeks.
Close. 9 months.
Is it having a baby?
They built the entire New York subway system in 1900 in 1 year, and now it takes 9 months for one subway platform.
Oh my god! Well, have you seen any of the ones that have been redone?
I don't think they had Teamsters back then. That's why.
Yeah, there's like plexiglass, like a wall so you can see the traffic while you're waiting for the subway. And there's like a touch screen sign so that you can see how long you're waiting for the subway. And other than that, it looks pretty much exactly the same.
Did they have a place where you could jump onto the tracks?
So I went to my breakfast place under the subway, and I felt bad because it was like, there's nobody in there now because everyone's walking to the other stop. And the guy's asking me where I'm going for the subway now. And I said, oh, the one over there. And I was like, it's been a month, and it looks like nothing's done yet. And the guy points behind me. He's like, yeah, the guy behind you is heading the subway project.
And the guy was like, yep, nothing's been done. That's fucking like that.
Yeah, I just like shrugged because I was like,
Did he have like straighten his tie? Like
he
that's
looked
right.
He looked pissed that I said that, but it's like 9 months for a platform. Like, fuck yourself.
I read somewhere that they shut down a whole line for like 8 or 10 months, and they're redoing the whole thing. Is that the same line, or
no? That was the line I used to live in Brooklyn.
Oh,
right?
The one that Doc lives on. They decided instead of doing that, they are going to only close half of the line, but now it's going to be like that for like 18 months.
For how long?
Like 18 months. They're going to do one half of the line each time.
But it also was kind of insane they shut down that line because a lot of people like relied on that to get to work.
The subway is literally falling apart. That's why they're doing it.
this is like an idiotic way to spend money is to be cleaning your thing up. Like that was like the library in my town when they shut down the kids' library for 2 years because they wanted to make it look nicer. It's the exact same fucking library now, it's just slightly nicer place to read.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're making the subway stop look prettier instead of fixing the actual subway.
Yeah, the only reason people don't ride more is because the subways are inefficient. If you made the subway run better, that would make ridership go up. That's the one thing that would do it.
Yeah, they're blaming it on Uber. It's like, no, people are taking Uber because it literally takes like an hour and a half to get to work now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to sit in traffic on the road in New York City. Yeah.
Yeah, it shows how bad your subway system is if that is the better option.
Exactly.
That's awesome, Jay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's also that guy, the breakfast place. He's probably like, oh, this is wonderful. You guys are going to take 9 months, and by that time, my family will be evicted, and we'll be homeless. Wonderful. Thank you.
I know. I went in again earlier this week. He's like, yeah, we used to be open 24 hours. Now they cut 6 hours out, and they cut my hours. And like, it's a really bad situation.
On a different note, I saw this article. This was a little while ago. I wanted to talk about on the show. It was the title of the article is Breanna Stewart's Achilles injury shines a light on the fair pay disparity between the NBA and WNBA salaries.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's the fucking I understand that if a man and a woman are both employed at your company, Jay, at the same level, they should be paid the same. Totally makes sense. But the NBA and WNBA could not be any fucking more different.
It's first of all
uninteresting.
Yeah, their salaries are based on ticket revenue, and if nobody's going to see your games, then you're not going to make money.
You know, we have a podcast, and Joe Rogan has a podcast. It's unfair that he gets paid more for his podcast.
Right, like if they
no, we have a podcast, and everyone else on Earth has a podcast.
Yeah, no, but if they paid WNBA players like NBA players, the league would fold. You know what? They should just do that. They for 1 year pay everybody like NBA players, and be like, now you're out of work.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Kevin Durant, we're going to have to pay you $40,000 a year. Wait, what do you mean? I'm supposed to get $40 million. Yeah, but this woman Brianna was complaining about salaries. We can't pay them more, so we're going to pay you less.
No. Well, look, come on. We can't give Kevin Durant any more reason to be grumpy. I mean,
he's going to be a Knick. Stop bashing him.
The guy's miserable enough. I mean, jeez. I play basketball for a living, and I'm miserable because nobody likes me because I'm a front runner and a losing basketball player. Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
wrong show, and he's going to be a Knick. You wait till he doesn't sign with the Knicks to make fun of him. No. Once he has not signed with the Knicks, go crazy.
He's also he won Finals MVP 2 straight years, so I don't really know if you could call him a losing basketball player.
Yeah. He is the best basketball player on the earth right now.
Anyway,
yeah. So basically, the WNBA gets paid less. The dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And all Twitter was like, this was one of the things on Twitter was like, everyone's like, this not fair. Women's rights. Me too.
Ugh. So
I don't know how people didn't see that story immediately go, oh, you fucking moron. It's different. Okay.
Yeah. That's just not how it works. If you're not selling tickets, then you don't get money. If they were selling out 15,000 person stadiums for every game, they would get more money.
Yeah, it's just like complaining like, hey, my movie didn't make any money because no one saw it, but Will Smith gets paid a lot.
Yeah. So I was at the laundromat last week, and I'm folding my clothes, and the guy's at the washer next to me, and he just keeps cursing every minute or two. He's like, piece of shit, motherfucker. And I was like,
can we get him on the show?
So I'm like, great. Now I have to deal with this the entire time I'm folding clothes. And so then eventually he walks over to me and he's like, do you know how to make the water warm? And so I walk over to the washer and it's on cold.
Tell me you peed in it. Please tell me you peed in it.
No, it was already on. It was already going. And so you just turn a knob and it changes the temperature. So I was turning it, it wasn't changing it. I said, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's not changing. And so he starts cursing again. And then the man.
Did you tell him there are other machines there?
Well, his clothes were already being washed.
Ah.
He had 3 washers going, and they were all already on, and they were all set to cold. So then the manager comes over, and he's like, I told you this a dozen times already. You have to change the temperature within 3 minutes of turning on the wash, or it stays whatever temperature it is.
Yeah.
And the guy is like, "That's bullshit. I know how to use a washing machine and blah blah blah." And then so the guy turns to me and he's like, "He's just trying to get more money from me, and it's a scam and blah blah blah." And then the manager turns to me and he's like, "It has to be within 3 minutes to change the temperature." And he's like explaining his case to me. So now both of these guys are explaining their case to me. And I'm just thinking,
Jay puts on a robe. He's like, I will judge this.
yeah, hold on a second. Let me get my gavel.
A new podcast idea. Jay is a judge. Judge Jay.
Judge Jay. I was like, how did I
Someone
get stuck
from
in
the
the
back
middle of
goes,
this?
"What makes you qualified for this dispute?" "I'm a CPA." "I stand corrected. Go on."
Jay, now you have to go to judge school.
Yeah, it's my next project.
So go on.
So yeah, they were basically just going back and forth, and then the manager got mad, and he's like, "Whatever, I told you this already," and he walks away, and the guy keeps cursing every few minutes and coming over to me and saying, "Piece of shit," and blah blah blah, and then the manager does a second drive by, and he starts explaining again. He's like, "It's 3 minutes." I was like, "Yeah, I know. So you got to change the temperature." He's like, "Yeah, this guy doesn't get it," and this went on for like 20 minutes.
Can we replay the argument?
I think I just
Brian.
did.
Brian, you be the manager. I'll be the angry man. "It's not warm."
I told you, you have to do it within the first 3 minutes.
"Your mom's a cunt."
Maybe, but you still have to adjust the temperature in the first 3 minutes.
Cunt. Fine.
Let's go
Here,
over
you
this.
want me to warm up the water?
I know how to sell this. Let's go over to that guy folding clothes.
That guy folded
Yeah.
clothes.
Hey, that guy, he looks like a CPA. Let's ask him.
This is a job for a CPA.
This is no music review. This is a real life situation.
Sir, do you also like music? Because I'd read your website if you had one.
I like your opinions on laundry, so I would love to hear your opinions on the new Dandy Warhols album.
By the way, Jay Loves Laundry, another website that would have done better than Jay Loves Music.
Jay doing laundry tips.
Jay loves laundry disputes.
Just picture of Jay each week doing laundry, like just a different action shot.
I bet if I
That
set
could
up
be
a web,
podcast. It could just be called Jay Loves, and then every week it's something new.
no, they
Jay,
have
do
that.
you-
They have that website where the guy just films himself studying, and the girl films herself eating. If I just set up a webcam at the laundromat and film myself doing laundry, I bet it would get a lot of hits.
I bet it'd
Jay
be
loves pissing off MTA executives. Jay loves laundry disputes.
the laundry site would be Jay's most profitable venture in his entire life. So the guys, they argue again, and what happens next, Jay?
Eventually, I just finished. I was almost done with my clothes, and I just threw all the rest in my bag and left and folded the rest at home because the guy wouldn't stop cursing, and it was getting a little redundant. I was like,
Do you have to do you separate your whites and your colors?
I do.
What about in the laundromat? Do you separate the colors and the white people?
No, because I didn't. I thought it was just a myth about the whites and coloreds. So when I first went to college, I threw everything in the wash.
I think it's colors, not colored. Go on.
Yeah.
I threw all my.
It's like
Jay
I
loves
have
racism.
white clothing. Stay away from me. I'm not racist, but you have to stay away from me.
I threw all
Jay
my.
loves subtle racism.
I put all my white and African American clothes in the same washer, and all my white clothes came out pink. And so I had pink socks and pink shirts like all the freshman year. So
Do you have like a red sock you put in there, or
yeah, it was a red T-shirt. Yeah.
oh, I've never had that. Bride, do you separate?
I don't really have any whites, but no.
I've never separated. I always thought it was a myth, but I guess Jay now is telling me it's not a myth.
I've had some things like when I was younger, like my mom would mix them, and I had some shirts turn pinkish. But
Jay, you know what you should have done, Jay? When the guy wasn't looking, you should have gone onto like a convenience store, got a bag of ice, and thrown it into his wash. Like, look, it's getting colder, sir.
you should have just took his clothes and left. Just not said a word. Just open the thing, put them in your bag, and just walk out. See what he did.
It would have been great if you took like one of their took the guy's side. You just started screaming at the manager. Also, I don't understand either. This doesn't make sense.
You should have took both sides. Like when the guy was swearing, swear at the manager, and when the manager was like talking, just talk to the guy. Just be like a louder version of both of them.
Hey, you guys been watching Jeopardy?
I hate that guy.
Have you watched?
No, I haven't really watched, but I don't like him.
Why do you not like him, Brian?
He's got no personality, number one. And he's a huge phony because he acts like he doesn't know the answer to every question, except that he does. Like every time he answers, the few times that I've watched, every time he answers, he has to act like he's guessing when he's clearly not. And it's just so disingenuous.
All I've seen is I haven't seen the show. I've just seen like all these things. They're like, "What's his secret? How has he mastered Jeopardy?" I was like, "He's mastered Jeopardy by just knowing all the answers. That's the fucking clue. That's how you beat Jeopardy."
No, but he's like when Ken Jennings won like 70 times in a row, he was getting like 30, 40,000 an episode. This guy's like breaking 100,000 on a regular basis.
Because he's hitting the daily doubles when he has a big stack and he's doubling up every time.
Yeah, well, he does a full, like if he has 20,000, he'll bet 20,000 on one question.
So he knows all the answers and he has balls?
Yeah. He's a
professional gambler.
Yeah.
Is he still winning? Has he lost yet?
No, he's still going. He's on like...
I didn't see it today, but I would assume it would have been all over the internet if he lost.
Yeah,
today.
if he won today,
but it just sucks because like Alex Trebek has cancer and is going to die soon, and the last thing he's going to have to deal with for his whole life is this fucking asshole.
You don't think Trebek likes this in the sense of like it makes the show has obviously always been a popular show, but it's like it kind of
the show is going broke because he's making too much money.
Are they? I would think I think the show would be killing it based on him being on the show.
What I read is it's costing him a lot of money.
Oh, really?
Well, the guy's up to like 1.7 million already.
Yeah.
My guess would have been that because I mean I guess they probably they've already sold out all the ad space before even like went off.
Yeah, you don't get ad revenue like on a week to week basis. They have contracts, so it's not like hey our ratings went up this week. We're gonna get more money from ads.
Yeah. And the season's over, so who knows if the guy ever lost or not? But
the season's over.
Yeah, they finished taping them all.
Oh, I would have thought Trebek would have liked this because you finally have someone master your show. Like it's kind of cool. The guy's like become like a phenomenon.
Well, I mean, he's just Ken Jennings. Only he's betting more is all he's doing.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. That's fair. I don't know. Maybe they should have Ken Jennings go against him. That would be probably a popular episode.
They have All Stars eventually.
Yeah, they just had an All-Star tournament like a month ago.
Yeah, so like maybe next year, at the end of next year, they'll have this guy go against Ken Jennings or whatever.
Like in theory, Jeopardy should be able to market this guy and make a lot of money off him. Like your show can't be all about the fact that like no one you're screwed if people start winning.
It's not that he's winning though; he's like tripling what the normal prize is for.
He has like
20
the 10
straight
highest
episodes.
Single day things already.
Yeah.
His average is like $80,000 an episode.
Yeah, the top 10 is all him now.
So he can't lose that money at this point. All the money's in the bank. Like he doesn't like.
No, he has 1.7 million, and it's all his.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Jay, did you ever think about doing that instead of CPA, like just dominating Jeopardy?
I tried out for I took the Jeopardy test
I've
online.
taken the Jeopardy test like 5 times. It's not easy.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Why did you have to say it's not easy? I've watched the show. It's fucking not easy. I can't get.
I watch the show and I get like 75% of the questions right, but the test is hard.
I get like one question an episode right, and I'm happy.
I was watching it last week, and my girlfriend texted. The one time I just happened to be home watching it, and it was like the easiest Final Jeopardy question ever. And my girlfriend texted me. She goes, "I got Final Jeopardy." I was like, "You'd have to be a moron not to get it." It was like the easiest question I ever saw.
Was it Aquaman?
It was something like it was like geography, and it was like this Atlantic thing. The answer was the Bermuda Triangle, but it was like something the Atlantic. In the Atlantic, and it's like, what else is in the Atlantic? It's got to be the Bermuda Triangle.
I've only gotten one Final Jeopardy question right in my entire life.
Really? I get them right all the time.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Jay. I've never gotten one right. It's for me, that's almost like a hole in one.
The first one I got right was last week.
What was the one you got right, Jay?
The answer was Aquaman.
Well, of course it was. I probably get like I don't watch it. I used to watch it every night, and then I stopped. But every time I watch it, I get like most of them right.
Well, but Brian, maybe you should be on Jeopardy.
I'm taking the test. They haven't called me.
You get most of the questions right.
Yeah,
I'm amazed. I'm actually amazed that you're. I kind of now want to watch Jeopardy with Brian to see if he's like full of shit.
That should be our podcast about the Jeopardy guy.
Just about Jeopardy in general. Man, there were a lot of questions answered today. Let's review, Jay.
Yeah, I only get the questions right if it's like if it's categories I know I could do pretty good, but sometimes I won't get anything right for like a whole episode.
I only get the answers right if it's Celebrity Jeopardy.
Like they had a music
And it's
category
best outfit.
yesterday, and I got all of them right, but that was, that doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, no, Brian. Brian? Why are you? If you're nailing all the Jeopardy questions, shouldn't you be a millionaire somewhere? Like, shouldn't this have translated over to another part of your life where you became like rich and
I've always
famous?
been good at trivia. I don't know, but it hasn't gotten me anywhere.
Let's do some emails before we go.
Yeah.
All right.
On a scale of absolute stickman story passivity to Rambo level badass, I'd like to be graded on the following scenario. The day started really nicely. Wife and baby went on a walk, shopped at Target and the Nike store, and got lunch. Everything was going great until we called an Uber home. Uber arrives, and per New York City standard, the guy double parks. There is a two-way street that is fairly wide, but some asshole pulls up behind the Uber as I'm getting the car seat in and starts honking and screaming. That sounds about right. Now, look, normally I get annoyed at people like that, but I don't too much because I get it. It's annoying for people driving, but in the case, A, dude had tons of room to pass, and B, it's raining like crazy and I clearly have a wife and baby, and C, he didn't even wait 1 second before honking and being an asshole. So I yell at this dude. I'm like, what? Which usually gets people to shut the fuck up and stop honking. This dude gets out of the car and was shouting at each other and in each other's faces, not backing down. But then this dude pushes me, and now I'm really getting in his face, and he's not backing down either. So the Uber driver and some random old man come and separate us. I recognize that the most badass thing to do would be to hit this guy back right away, and I feel like a bitch for not doing that. I yelled at him, and in the mix mentioned that a night in jail is not an option for me, even if his broke ass didn't know the difference, which I felt was a good jab and is true. But it's not the same, and man, it was frustrating. I did keep cursing at him, and we got in the Uber and we drove off. The ride was awkward as fuck. So knowing that in the end, I have to be an adult. I can't actually risk hurting myself, my family, or my career in these scenarios. How did I do? Maybe like a letter grade. Dude was not small. I'm a little bigger, but he's probably in better shape. Also, what could I have done better where I'm even less passive, but still not making a really dumb life decision?
I feel like he made the right life decision.
Yeah, long term, that's probably the best decision he could do.
I mean, you don't want to fucking go to jail and screw up your whole life because guy's being an asshole.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Punch each other in the face? Like, I think not backing down and yelling in his face is fine. You can go home happy with that and not be like, oh, he got out of the car and I freaked out and like,
There's
I
no regrets in that situation. That's
Yeah,
I give him an A for that because I really think like you took the right approach. You didn't do anything retarded. Basically, that would just screw up your life.
Well, that
you took the high road and you got a couple of jabs in. So,
yeah, I think most of the time, if somebody got out of the car, the other person would like freak out and like go, run in their car, run in the Uber, or they would start swinging, and then you might get hurt, and you got your kid with you. Like,
what was the guy's wife doing?
She's probably in the car, like, or trying to deal with the baby.
Yeah.
What kind of guy gets out of
anonymous, or is that a?
He didn't want his name said.
Okay.
So
I'm curious what the guy's problem. Like, was the guy pissed because he was trying to park, or he was trying to get around him, or he was just?
Yeah, no, he was trying to get. He was one of those idiots where he sees a car clearly pulling over, and he goes right behind him so that he, well, the email said he had room to go in the other lane anyways. It was just a dickhead, basically.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, what would you gain from getting out of the car? You get out of the car, like, sometimes not get out of the car. What have you gained by punching the guy? Like, let's say you punch the guy. Even if you didn't get arrested, what, you go to your wife like, yeah, I'm a real man. I punched some guy out. Like,
that's right.
Yeah, right in front of his baby and wife.
The baby wouldn't remember that shit. But
what he should have done was he should have gotten the guy's car and drove away in it.
He should have murdered the guy's family.
He should have killed. You know what he should have done? He should have killed the Uber driver and been like, "What? You got a problem?"
The thing is, there's just a lot of crazy assholes out there.
Yeah, there really is.
Yeah, you also don't know if the guy like pulls a knife on you or something like that. Like it's probably not worth generally engaging anyone on a fight.
Yeah.
I give you a total A for doing the right thing and not doing anything too stupid.
Yeah. That's a good story, too.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Lorenzo writes, "Hey guys, can we please get an update from Jim Junkie God, aka Mark's character from the Hallelujah episode number 307?"
Wait, what?
Mark doesn't even remember the Jim Junkie God.
What's the Jim Junkie guy?
either.
Jay, do you remember this? This is episode. We're on episode 320 something. Says it wasn't that long ago.
We're only on 314. It was 7 episodes ago. I mean, granted,
episode's going slow these days.
In Brink time, that was probably 5 months ago, but still.
Yeah.
What's the Jim Junkie God?
Yeah, I think it was the guy at the gym who always overdoes it.
Is this an actual person or just like?
It's a character you made up. I think we're going to need further explanation. Sorry, Lorenzo.
Lorenzo, I don't remember anything that's happened before, like we started the show today.
Okay, so
Was it? What, Jay? Do you remember, Jay?
not really.
Right.
If it was 7 episodes ago, I was probably wrapping up my CPA finals, so I was probably not in the state to remember one of Mark's many hilarious characters that sound completely different from the other ones.
By the way, do you know the internet apparently does not like the Sonic the Hedgehog design?
It looks dumb, yeah.
What the fuck do people care?
Why do they have to make movies out of video games?
I don't know. They make movies of anything, but like people are like, "Oh, I don't like the way Sonic the Hedgehog looks." Why? Wait, was there some masterpiece of how you thought Sonic the Hedgehog should look?
Probably like the video game.
I mean, who gives a fuck? Don't see it if you don't like it. Don't complain online.
Well, I just don't get like why. Hey, let's make this video game into a movie and then make it not look like the video game.
Well, you know what? They probably said like, "Who's going to see this movie? It's going to be a kids movie. Let's try to appeal to kids and making it like cute and fluffy."
Or they could just make it look like the video game.
Who the fuck's gonna? Who's like? I played Sonic the Hedgehog 17 years ago. Now I gotta see the movie.
They're still making Sonic games.
Aren't they really?
You got to get a PlayStation, man. You're so behind.
You know, my son for his birthday, you know what he wants?
Mm.
We want for his birthday. We have to get a video game truck. It's like a big truck where all the kids play video games on the truck.
Oh God.
What? I thought you would. Oh, that was Brian, not Jay. Jay, I feel like Jay would like that.
That's Jay's dream job is to drive one of those.
Yeah.
Jay, this is like a franchise. Apparently, this guy apparently kills it, like just like running out for all the kids' birthday parties.
Oh, it's an actual like. Truck?
It's like a franchise. Yeah. So
that actually sounds like a good idea. That's one of these rackets like where, like the new trend is like getting everybody in like Uber and like Airbnb where you like loan out your stuff and.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
basically,
it's like a pizza truck, only it's a game truck. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big truck where all the kids can go on the truck and play video games, and all the kids love video games. So, like, whatever party you have, the truck drive to your house or some other location, and all the kids can play on the truck, and then they go do whatever else they want for the birthday party.
That's what you could do for the bar mitzvah.
Your son's doing that?
That's what we're doing for his birthday party.
Oh, you're so fucked.
Why? Why are we so fucked?
Because he's gonna get hooked on video games.
Oh, we all get hooked on video games. The shit's addictive.
Yeah.
By the way, but also video games have changed so much. It used to be addictive because the games were fun to play. Now we talked about this before, how the arcades are all just like casinos.
Yeah, that's why I went to Barcade 2 weeks ago. And they have all the old school 80s and 90s games. That was a lot more fun.
I went to a place in Jersey that was like that, but it wasn't a bar. It was just like basically you pay per hour and you have all the old school games. And my kids were like, "This is kind of boring." I'm like, there's tons of video games to play. They're like, they just got bored pretty fast because you couldn't get tickets and you couldn't get like win shit.
Wow, when I was his age, I would have lost my mind. I remember it was like sixth grade, and my buddy had a birthday thing, and there was this gigantic arcade that had like. It was like a warehouse, so it had like almost every arcade game ever. And his dad was well off, and he gave us each $20 in quarters. That was like the best night ever.
That is pretty awesome. But now the kids don't even care. Now it's all about getting the tickets so they can win prizes. And every game is about getting as much tickets as you can. And every goddamn arcade you go to is designed like a casino.
Yeah, I hate that. That's why I don't like Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, that's what they all are now. Like it's so annoying. It's all my kids like now.
Do you want me to put on episode 307 so we can hear your character? I know how much you like hearing your own voice.
Do you want? like my kids have to. I don't want my kids not to have a father, and I'm going to kill myself during the episode while we listen.
All right, so
we can move on to the next
a
question.
little bit of a refresher, Lorenzo. Sorry about that.
Sorry, yeah, describe it better in the next. I can't believe it's 7 episodes. It was episode 207. Then I could see myself really not remembering.
Yeah, we're losing it.
This is unbelievable.
We should have a podcast where we review our previous podcasts.
I have a question for you guys. If social media, like this is the Sonic thing, is all over social media. Is social media ended tomorrow? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Those are the main 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess what's the one that disappears on you?
Snapchat.
I feel like that's not as big now, or who the hell knows?
It's really big.
Is Snapchat still big?
I don't know why, but it is.
Okay, so let's just say those just went away. Tomorrow they all shut down. Would the world be a better place?
I'm glad you brought this up because I wanted to bring this up.
Did you really? Okay.
I kind of wanted, I wanted to kind of have a conversation about this kind of thing. To answer your question, I think it might be.
I think it definitely would be.
I mean, I saw this thing about every time you see an article on Facebook about Mark Zuckerberg, I guess they banned Alex Jones from Facebook. And whatever it is, or no, it wasn't even this article. It was something about how Facebook is changing its format, and all the comments are like, "Hey, how about for a better format, you make a social media site that's not full of hate?" And I'm like, the problem is, it's not Mark Zuckerberg making Facebook full of hate. It's that people are assholes. Any social media site is going to be like this. Stop fucking making social media sites.
Yeah, people have always hated things, and now they have a place to go hate things.
People have always been shitheads. You're just seeing humanity.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's people are just assholes. That's what it is.
Yeah, I feel like we'd all be better off. I mean, like, I'm sure you get some nice, like, how much time do you think you spend on a given day on social media?
Well, I leave my Twitter page open like on the day, but I don't tweet anymore. But I just read stuff mostly like for news or
yeah. But that's social. That's social media. Like you spend some time on there. Yeah. So what if you couldn't do that anymore? You have to get your news from some other source besides Twitter.
I could do it. Well, that's what I was going to ask you guys. Is on a sort of a similar but separate path? Do you think the internet's ever going to go away?
No.
Without like some kind of like. Without the internet, are you saying internet because people will stop using it, or because it like fails, like somehow like the internet?
Just because it's become too much of a like burden, really. Well, burden's probably not the right word, but it's just become too much of a like negative thing.
It is a bit of a burden because it kind of controls your life. Like you check your phone, you check these things all the time. Yeah. It kind of takes over your life a little bit.
No, but it's too much information.
I mean, like I miss the days like when I didn't know stuff and like I'd have to wait. Like I read the paper. My dad gets a newspaper, so I read it at lunch every day, and everything I've read, I've already seen. And it's like I miss like reading the paper and like seeing like a news article, be like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So like instead of Amish country, you could live in 1980s land. Like you just say, like we feel technology stopped in the 1980s, and we will only recognize technology that happened before 1985.
Well, I just think it's not the end of the world if you find out about something like 8 hours later instead of 5 seconds later. Like I don't know. And
then when you find something, then like if something comes like just for example, like say like when the Mueller report came out, everybody's waiting for it, and then 2 seconds after it comes out, everybody has to like give their opinion on it or like have somebody explain it to them. Is
it important to you to know what someone you haven't talked to since you graduated high school 20 years ago thinks about the Mueller report? Is that important to you?
Not at all.
Why did we spend all this time arguing on these goddamn social media sites?
Yeah, I don't know. I also don't get
something to do. That's why.
Yeah, I just don't get people who post things and then if you comment on what they post, they unfriend you.
Bruh, Jay, I'm sorry. I'll refriend you in a little while. I'm just giving you a probation period. That's all, Jay.
It's like what did you want?
It's also people. So Facebook banned Alex Jones and some other and Louis Farrakhan and some other people, and people are like, it's free speech. This is banning free speech. And like, first of all, people seem to recognize the fact that it is a private company, so there's no such thing as free speech for a private company. But at the same time, like, what the fuck do you care if Alex Jones would go on Facebook or not? I mean, what do you care if they ban him? Sorry.
like 95% of like the bitching that goes on in the world is people just sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. Like people bitch about stuff that doesn't even apply to them or ever will apply to them. Like if you ever like just go down a rabbit hole somewhere on some like, like if there's a news article about like abortion or about like religion,
Right.
and people just like chime in, it has nothing to like fight. Like, oh, Idaho legalizes abortion, and you'll have people from like, New Jersey talking about it. It's like it doesn't affect you at all, at all.
I was reading something about vaccines, and people are like, all these people like did not believe in vaccines, and you're like, why the? Because this whole thing about the measles outbreak, and I can't even believe all these people are commenting, and I wonder like it also builds on itself. You have people make shit up online, and then everyone else looks at it, and suddenly like this made up thing is now like
a thing
causing an outbreak of measles,
and no one will back down because nobody has, because admitting you're wrong is weak and makes you a pussy. So
wouldn't we be better off if like the guy didn't believe in measles had no way to tell other people not to believe in measles? I'm sorry, not believe in vaccines. Like now, like every crackpot theory you can get out there and like explain to people and get other people on board with this.
Yeah, it's.
I think we'd all be better off basically not having social media. I'm not saying like we each individually should like delete our accounts because that gets you nowhere. But if you had 3 wishes and one of your wishes was to get rid of social media, we'd all be better off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
like who cares what a stranger on the other side of the world? Who cares? Like
Yeah.
I don't even talk to my neighbors, but I'm gonna give a shit what like somebody like 5 states away thinks about like some story that I don't even care about.
Yeah.
And the whole people get mad at Mark Zuckerberg for making all this money on Facebook and not protecting our privacy or whatever else. Like he's got to be like in some realm being like, wait, what the fuck? You posted it online. Why the fuck is it private? I have to keep your shit. And like people are being assholes to each other. It's my fault humanity looks like this.
And people are always like, "Oh, Big Brother, Big Brother." It's not Big Brother's little brother. Like we're the ones like ratting each other out and doing all that shit. It's like all they did was give us a forum to do it.
Yeah, if I was Mark Zuckerberg, I'd be like, I've posted 0 times on this website, so it's you.
And then he like sells your data or puts ads on there. And you're like, why are you selling my data? Well, like I just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it was free to make. Like he probably has to spend hundreds of millions of dollars to keep this thing going. He's got to make some money somehow. So if you're not paying money for it, you're paying some other way.
Right.
All right, a couple more emails and then we'll go.
Yeah. Anything else, Brian, you want to add about this or?
No, that was. I just think we'd be better off without I think there might be a time like 25 years down the road, maybe less, if we get rid of like the internet and all that. Because I think millennials are going to be like, because millennials are like just like the worst group of people ever. But I think they're gonna kind of get sick of it all and be like, I didn't want to be on the internet anymore.
They're the ones the most addicted to their phones, though.
I know, but I think they're going to realize how stupid they are.
I don't.
You think there'll be a movement, like a hit movement where you're like, oh, I couldn't find you on Facebook. I'm not only not on Facebook, I'm not on the internet.
It's going to, like I'm not on the internet is the new, I don't watch TV.
But then how would you, but how would you announce to everyone you're not on the internet if you're not on the internet?
But I think there might be like, millennials will start going on like staycations where like they put their phone down for like 6 hours and try not to have a panic attack.
I do think that'll be a thing. Like going forward is like the not having like I'm free of my phone for like an entire week. Like I think people definitely do that now, and it'll become a bigger thing of like I'm free of the internet for 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
People you always see those posts on Facebook with like, I haven't been on Facebook for like 3 weeks. What did I miss? I don't know, asshole, but apparently you missed Facebook because you're going on here asking for people to like.
Yeah, you missed attention. That's what you missed.
Yeah, that's what you missed because you asked people to praise you for not being on the internet for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Emails, Jay?
Sure. Lorenzo writes, "Hi, Bri. I also have 5,700 units of Tron. Did you find that you received 0.11 units of BitTorrent for each unit of Tron recently? So, Bri, you got some extra crypto now."
I don't think so, but I haven't checked.
What did you receive? What for Tron?
BitTorrent. It's a new coin that's out.
I thought
BitTorrent were used to download stuff illegally.
Yeah. Isn't that where Jay gets his music?
Yeah.
buy all my music. Thank you very much.
Yeah, because I guess BitTorrent is now the name of a coin also.
Yeah. As I was listening to your last episode, I logged into my crypto account and I found I had all this extra stuff and had to Google why.
Oh, so why?
He didn't say.
Oh, I'm questioning an email. Sorry.
Do you think if I went around my house and collected all the loose change, and counted up, would I have more money that way, or just counting up all the money I have from crypto?
Crypto's going up.
So Jay, the guy from your job, so Jay told me off the air that there's a guy that he worked with, Jay, who was Jay's
Crypto advisor.
Mentor, really.
Mentor, yeah.
And he's gone. Jay, are you still in contact with this person?
Yeah, he got a new job and it's in the same building.
Is he in prison or?
No.
Does he know that you're he's your crypto god?
He's not my god. He has forsaken me.
Does it mean that now that he's left, that we're screwed basically?
Yeah, he works in the same building.
Yeah, where are we going to get our bad advice from?
I still run into him.
Does he still think he's going to be a millionaire from crypto?
He hasn't said that, but he definitely thinks it's going to rally and we'll all be fine.
Okay.
I mean, it's still slowly going up, so maybe it won't
is it really?
Yeah.
Because last time I looked, it was at 160, like Ethereum, and now it's at 160. That's not really going up. That's staying where it is.
Isn't it like 164?
You're right. Never mind. We'll be millionaires. Go on.
It's okay. So that was that email. We get so many emails from people trying to build our website.
Well, a lot of people want to build our website. I don't write enough of them back.
Okay. Learns writes, "Hey guys, this one's for Mark and Bri. What is a bat flip? I've seen a clip and I don't really get it. Why is it so bad? I would also like to know that."
It's when somebody hits a home run, they throw the bat and.
It's just a way of.
It's kind of a literal thing. They just flip the bat in the air as kind of a celebration.
But I saw a clip of a guy flip a bat, and then the next time he was up, the pitcher beamed him.
Well, the point is that you're showing up the other guy. I guess for whatever reason, for when you hit a home run in baseball, you're supposed to not look anywhere. Just just jog straight ahead and not try to show anyone up. Just be not celebrate at all.
Baseball's the biggest pussy sport.
I see. I'm in a weird spot here because I think bat flips are super annoying, but I also think it's kind of unfair that the hitter doesn't get to do something when the pitcher will pump his fist or do something after they strike somebody out in a big spot.
Why do you think the bat flip is annoying?
I just think it's stupid. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care.
The bat flip would be cool if he took the bat and just threw it into the stands. That's a bat flip. The only bat flip I liked was Joey Bats in the playoffs a couple years ago after he hit a home run, the angriest home run ever, and he just threw the bat
Yeah, I don't mind this. Any kind of celebrating, I don't mind a little bit. And if you celebrate and then you get beamed with the baseball next time you're up, so be it.
If I was thinking about this today because I was having a conversation with a coworker. If I was a pitcher and somebody hit a home run and did a crazy bat flip the guy in the White Sox that they're talking about,
yeah.
I would. When the media questioned me, I would be like, listen, every time I face him, my first pitch is going at his head. And then every time I face the guy, my first pitch would go at his head. And if I hit him, I would give him a little gunshot thing and then walk off the mound because I'd probably be suspended.
Well, I don't think you could throw at someone's head. That part I would disagree. You could throw at someone's body, but heads, that's actually pretty dangerous.
Yeah. That's why I'm not a pitcher.
Brian's you see what he's being a dick. I would make sure he dies.
But I think the celebrating in all the sports is just so it's just annoying. I hate the end zone pre-arranged end zone celebrations they do in the NFL now. I mean, basketball players act like they win the lottery every time they make a free throw.
Well, at least with football, they try to eliminate all type of dancing and celebrating.
Well, no, they let that go. So for the last season or 2 seasons now. But they have all these choreographed things where the whole team gets in the end zone and does something stupid.
Yeah. Jay, how do you feel about celebrating in sports?
I like it.
Celebrate when you win the game, not when you do big deal you hit a home run. If you hit a home run to win the game, fine, do a bat flip. If he had a home run in the second inning.
No,
Yeah.
I am pro taunting.
I don't really mind. It makes it gives more personality to the players.
Oh, I like taunting, but
I'm kind of fine with it. So, Jay, you want to move on to the next email, or just sit in silence?
Okay, last one. We'll do the rest some other time.
Just do that. We have to do a couple more emails. Go fast.
No, I'm done.
What's wrong with you?
Lorenzo writes, AJ, how would you rather die? A, drown in a pool full of Olivia Munn's pussy juice in your final seconds, but in your final seconds, you look up and see that Olivia Munn is blowing Drake. Oh, man.
I knew Drake had to be in here somewhere.
B,
or
I have three choices in this one.
Okay.
You receive a text message advising you've completed your CPA, but while you are reading the text, you are hit by a bus. Everyone on the bus dies also. They were all Brink fans on the way to MSG, where they had organized a rally of 20,000 millionaires from around the world to contribute to Brink Patreon, and now this never happens. And C, you are sitting courtside at the 2020 NBA Finals between the Knicks and the Lakers. You grab a hot dog at halftime and choke on a hair that is on your hot dog. The hair turns out to be James Dolan's. The game ends with Zion hitting a fadeaway three to win the game. And on the shot, he ends up falling into Mark's lap, and they celebrate the huge win together all night. Mark ends up being the guy in all future NBA Finals highlights as the guy that Zion bro hugs.
Well, first of all, the Lakers aren't going to be in the 2020 Finals.
I like this one with the. This sounds pretty good to me, the Zion one. Jay, what do you think?
I'm not as big of a fan of that one.
No?
No,
it works out well for me, though.
I received my license in the mail, so B is out.
Oh, wait, did you get the license?
Yes, I have the official.
You actually got it.
I got it. It's in my apartment now. I officially have the license. So
I want to know why. I want to know why I didn't get included in any of your death scenarios.
So I'm officially a CPA now.
Would you be pissed if I didn't have toilet paper and I used your license?
A little bit.
Okay.
I was going to steal it if I stayed at Jay's.
I need to get that.
Have you framed it?
I need to before something happens to it.
Jay's gonna come back from from Thailand and he's gonna be like, "Where is that license?" And
I think well, to answer Lorenzo's question, I think I would still go with Olivia Munn's pussy juice.
Okay.
I would have chose the bus for you.
The bus was a pretty good one too. I think Olivia Munn's one was my third choice there.
Yeah, well, I know you would have liked. Well, I don't know. You know, I might have.
Because I would have found some way. I would have still found a way to I would have liked that story. Would have been in the news. It still would have worked out well for me. The pussy juice thing doesn't work out well for me.
No,
yeah, is Olivia Munn half Asian? I don't know about her.
She is.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Jay's
been obsessed with Olivia Munn for a while.
Oh, I know he has.
She's half Irish, half Chinese.
Oh.
So
would Kat
have 100% beard? Is she still going out with Aaron Rodgers? No, she's not.
No, Aaron's dating Danica Patrick now.
Yeah, she's the new beard.
If Olivia Munn threw herself at you and you slept with her,
mm-hmm.
and then you told Kat, would Kat say that's okay?
I think so, because I think she knows.
Because she has no choice. You already did it.
Yeah. No, you know what?
What if you Kat's not in the picture. Olivia Munn throws herself at you, and you're like, "This is the greatest night of my life," and then you found out she had a penis.
What if Olivia Munn threw herself at you, and she said, "You could have one weekend with me to do anything you want, but you have to give up your CPA."
Oh man, that's a really tough one.
Would the greatest day of your life be that Olivia Munn sleeps with you, and not only does she sleep with you, she sleeps with you because she's a big fan of Break of Sanity?
But right. Jay, in my scenario, you can always retake the tests.
Yeah, no, I think I would turn that down. I'm not going through those tests again.
She'll pay for you to take the tests again.
No, it's not about the money. It's about...
What if she says, "I'll sleep with you if you could pass the test again"?
No. I'm not going through the CPA again. I am just not.
There's nothing you would do.
What if she says, "I'll sleep with you, but it has to be during a podcast"?
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, I think he would do that.
What if she said, "I want you to start a podcast about all the ways that you're gonna make me orgasm"?
That's fine.
You mean that would be no podcast then? What would it take for to get Jay to retake the exam?
I
CPA
wouldn't.
exam?
I would never do it again.
What if they lose your record and they don't have a proof of it, and then you get like this job offer where they're going to quadruple your salary, and they're like, you could start the day after you pass all 4 exams?
No.
What if Trump calls and says he wants you to be head of the Department of Treasury, but you have to take? They're adding one new segment of the CPA, but you have to take that in order to pass it, in order to get the job.
I would take one new part.
What if
And
the one
then once
part
you
was
pass it,
divided into 4?
and then once you pass it, Trump's going to say, "Oh no, we made another new one."
What if? So how much? Let's say someone would say, "I'd give you $1 million if you could pass all 4 CPAs in the span of 1 year." Would you do it?
For $1 million.
$1 million.
Yeah, I would gamble and quit my job and do that.
What if it was 1 million pesos?
No.
Okay.
So I just realized.
What if it was 1 million listeners?
No. I just realized that a scenario C, while it sucks, I don't die. So I'm going to change my answer.
I thought you choked to death on this.
Yeah, no, I realized like I'd rather just be alive. So I'm gonna change my answer to C.
No, I thought you choked to death in C. I thought you die in all scenarios.
Yeah, I thought so too.
The entire
Because
premise.
C works out pretty well for you, because then you could sue James Dolan for choking on his hair.
It says
So,
I choke.
There's got to be a glitch in there somewhere.
I think you choked to death.
Oh, I
don't
choked to
think
death. Oh well, then,
you were dying in all the scenarios. This is the one.
Yeah.
The third scenario is like, hey, what if you eat a grilled cheese sandwich? What do you like? What do you think? The other 2 you die, but then what if you eat a grilled cheese sandwich?
The third scenario is you die and Mark takes over the world.
oh well, fuck you, Mark. I'm going with A again.
No, this was great for me.
Yeah, it really was.
It worked out really well.
I want to be in one of these.
Lorenzo, put Brian some next time.
Yeah, make me drive the bus or something.
Jay, next question.
Last one. Hey guys.
You know we're not going to do another break again until you get back from Thailand, so you might as well just finish the questions.
Yeah, I'm going
Let's
to
just
Japan.
take it back.
I'm going to Japan and Thailand next week. So
When do you leave?
Thursday,
We're not going to do an international one?
the 9th.
There's no way you're leaving. You're not doing a show. You're not doing a show next week before you leave, right?
No, definitely not.
So
You're not going to bring all your gear so we could do one from across the world?
No, because it's 12-hour time difference. So
12 hours is easy.
Brian, you want to do the Nick podcast with me while Jay's gone?
Oh, I would love to do the Nick podcast.
The
I
show
always
just-
say that, and then I'm like asleep by 6:30 on Sunday night. And
It's just me and Bri, and the entire episode is Bri being like, Kevin Durant is such a goddamn loser.
seriously,
push
we have
balls
to
on my
figure
wrist
out.
now.
We have to figure out how to get Mark to be able to record at 7 because I can't keep doing this.
I don't have a way to figure it out for you. I don't like unless my kids just lose interest in hanging out with me. It's impossible. You guys don't even understand what the scenario is like. Trying to
Well,
do
like 7 in the morning. I could do 7 in the morning.
I'm
up early.
yeah, my kids are up also.
I hate your kids.
Like, my kids are up all the time.
It's almost warm though. Can't you throw them outside and let them do something? Or
It's almost what?
yeah, just
it's
tell them to
warm
go out.
weather.
Yeah, it's,
Put them
it's,
outside. Let them play.
it's yeah. You have a backyard. It's light
Well, the
out.
thing is, they have to go to sleep. It doesn't matter if I'm awake; they'll be in the room. They'll be like, "What's Daddy doing?" Unless
Can't you
unless
drug them or something?
Don't you have like a 5-story house and a wife?
Yeah. Don't you have like a servants for that?
hey,
What?
honey, I know you worked all day, but could you watch the kids so I could do a podcast?
Yeah, one
Hey,
hour
you worked
once
all
a
day
week.
too.
Yeah, 1 hour once a week. I don't think that's
Jeez.
unreasonable.
I think the agreement we have is that the kids have to be asleep.
Well,
the
we're
kids will
making
just,
a new agreement.
Yeah.
the kids will just freaking come in here. It's impossible to do a show if they're awake.
Here's what we'll do, Jay. You and I will record at like 7, and then you could play it for Mark, and he could respond to it, and you could record that.
Okay, let's
and then
finish.
dub it into one.
Let's finish the questions.
Okay.
Go fast, Jay.
I just I don't know. They like you that much?
Not yet.
What?
Only for another year.
I don't know. I'm just confused. Like, I don't know.
What? What are you confused about?
They don't just go play. Like, I played on my own a lot.
Well, then that's how you became you, Jay.
Mark has higher hopes.
Do they have like action figures or?
I know my son cannot play by himself, and my daughter can, but it doesn't matter. Like my kids, they they're young. They're 7 and 5 year old,
Yeah.
5 years old. They need lots of attention.
I
They
was
want
listening.
attention.
I was listening to Rob's podcast the other day, and he said the same thing. He agreed with me that like when we were kids, we would play with action figures by ourselves for like 8 hours straight. And he said his kid is incapable of playing by himself as well. So I guess it's a new generation thing.
I don't know. I gave my son a lot of attention when he was a baby, and now he can't like get. My daughter, I feel like, had less attention, so she can play on her own. I don't know.
Because I remember I would just like I would go in my room and I would have like Star Wars figures, and I wouldn't come out for like all afternoon
till dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
In fairness, our generation also shoots up schools, so maybe it didn't work out that well for us.
That's not our generation.
Yeah,
that's our generation, isn't it?
No,
I don't
all
know.
the people shooting up schools are like 20 years old.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do today? I don't know. I'm 4 years old. I might as well shoot up a school. I don't know. But my kids, they also will just be interested. Our house is not like big enough where I'm going to be in the West Wing where they can't find me. Like I'll just be in this room and they'll come in and they'll be like, "What are you doing, Daddy?"
Do it from the bathroom.
Aren't you a parent? Can't you just be like, "You're not allowed in this room for an hour"?
Yeah, who's in charge at your house?
Seriously, what is going on
in our
Mike?
house? What I tell everyone is your level of authority is inverse order of height in my house.
Yeah, I don't understand. When I was a kid, if my dad said, "Don't come in this room for an hour," like I wouldn't go in the room for an hour, and that would be the end of the story.
Well, anyway, my wife would not be a big fan if I did not. My wife would not be a big fan if I was like, "You got bedtime because I'm doing a podcast." It's also it's because I'm in the house. If I like did it somewhere else, then it would be fine.
Mark, I don't think you have control over your life.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, you get kids. You get control of your life.
How about we get your wife on the show and you put the kids to bed?
Don't you do the show from a laptop?
Yeah, I'm on a laptop right now. We have 4 bedrooms upstairs. They're all next to each other.
So
the kids
get a lamp and do the show from your shed. I know you got a shed.
I don't have a shed now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. I don't have a shed. I live a part of Long Island.
Oh, sorry. I meant your guest house.
I don't have a guest house. I don't have a lot of land, and because of that, I have no place to put a shed.
Garage.
I do have a garage.
There you go. Podcast garage.
Yeah. So anyway, it's not changing though. Like this is what it is here. I cannot record unless they go to sleep. Why can't you guys just stay up? What's the problem?
Why can't your kids play with a toy for an hour? I don't understand this situation you have going on. Like I played with toys when I was a kid. How are your kids? Like,
what's going on with your lives that like doing a show at 8:45 versus 7 p.m. is such a big difference?
Because 8:45 goes to like 11:30.
Yeah, and then I have to do all this shit after the podcast, and so I don't go to bed until late, and then I'm all fucked up the next day.
Yeah, it takes me 3 hours to fall asleep.
Jay, do you want to be well rested for the job you hate? Oh, I feel really good about going to this job I hate. You might as well be tired and bitter.
Being tired just makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Well, being well rested is not going to make it better, is it, Jay?
Also, if we start the shows at 7, I could actually like watch like a basketball game instead of like, hey, let's just see what the final score is. That's fun.
I don't know. You could record the game. Have you heard of DVR?
So you're saying to do the show while I'm recording the game and then stay up till like 1 in the morning?
Yeah, whatever.
I don't think you're understanding the
Yeah, either way. Want to read the last couple questions?
Yeah, did this all result from a question, or
I don't know where this came from.
I just don't. I don't understand why your kids can't play with toys for an hour.
I don't know. Just get kids, and if you do, then you give me advice. I don't know.
I'm gonna have a kid.
I'm kind of. This is what it is.
I'm gonna have a kid, and I'm gonna have the kid play with a toy behind me while I'm podcasting. He's not gonna say a word, and then I'll show you.
Okay, you'll just. Jay's like, I've raised the kid for 7 years to prove you wrong.
7 years later.
Now I gotta get rid of him.
8 years later, I'll be like, Mark, remember episode 314? I got you.
I got you. I'm like, nah, I don't remember that episode. I don't remember anything that happened before this episode. But I did look up the gym guy, and I know what that guy was.
Okay, last question. Lorenz writes, hey guys, this one's for Mark. I need you to think of all the teachers, babysitters, and childcare workers you have looked after your kids over the years. Now just think of the female ones. What percentage of these would you bang? Discuss Mark's answer before mine below.
I think it's like 0%.
Are you saying that because your wife's standing behind you, or?
I mean, I guess I would agree with that, but no, there hasn't been any attractive. None.
All right. Lorenzo says, I think it's a pretty high percentage, like 75 to 80%. It probably has something to do with the fact that they are fresh out of college, but still 8 out of 10 are pretty nice in my experience.
I mean, I feel like that fresh out of college thing in general is attractive, but no, I feel like a lot of like all the caretakers, people like from the teachers to like caretakers, are all been old. That's for at least for us. They've all been old, which is probably better.
Right. All right. So Mark doesn't do the hiring for the babysitters either.
I guess not.
All right. So thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back in June because I'm going to be in Asia for pretty much the rest of this month.
When do you get back?
I get back the 26th. And
oh, wow.
I will have a 12-hour jet lag, so I'm going to be a mess for the couple days after. Oh, and nobody's going to cover for me at work, so I'm going to have... Did I tell you one guy left work and he quit the job? Oh, the crypto guy. He left, and so they gave me pretty much his job.
Wow, he's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. So same deadlines, but twice as much work now.
Do you get like anything extra for doing his work?
I get extra shit. I get an extra manager to harass me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why don't you just not do it?
I am just working throughout the day, and when it's time to go, I go. And if the work is not done, it's not done. I'm at that point.
I mean, I do that at work all the time, but they won't fire me. But like, if you just don't do enough till they fire you, then they fire you and they pay you off, and then you can get a better job, which is what you want.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I was stressing out about it for the last 2 weeks, and then 2 days ago, I was like, you know what? It's not worth all the stress. I'm going to do my work every day, and if it's not done, it's their fault for giving me 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like your company is also like there's a lot of turnover that no matter what you do, they probably won't get rid of you.
That's true.
You must be like the longest tenured person there because you have everybody's job.
Seriously. All right. Anyway, yeah, we will be back in June, and we'll do a couple episodes.
We'll have an announcement about our new podcast by then.
We'll do a couple late evening episodes because Mark's incapable of getting a toy for his kids.
Oh my God! Well, why don't you research this in Thailand and find out maybe there's a better way there?
A better way where?
I don't know. You do some research. You figure out how to get my kids to do something. They also need to go to sleep.
Did you buy them toys, or did you just buy them weird like Jewish matzah things?
Put Benadryl in their dinner or something.
All their toys are smaller than they're supposed to be because the Manchev's pop boxing is just really big. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that torturesome to do a show a little bit later on in the night.
Well, that's good for you, but Brian and I disagree. So.
I don't know. Well, my kids get a vote, so you lose.
You don't like what happened to just putting on like a DVD of The Lion King and having them sit in front of it for an hour?
I know, but then they'll be dead. They have to get to sleep, but they need their bedtime's around 8:00. So we have to
So they need their sleep, but we don't need our sleep.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
No, like
they still have hope in life.
If we start at 7, we could be done by like 8:15. You could put your kids to bed at 8:15.
Yeah.
It's not like you do anything at school anymore these days.
Yeah,
they really don't.
It's a win-win.
So why can't they be tired at school?
Yeah.
Well, we're refreshed at work.
They're young. They're not dying. We're dying.
Yeah.
I feel like them being awake for school is more important than us being awake for work.
I've never been this close to death in my life.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm gonna make it through the end of the year. I'm in rough shape. I need my sleep.
Yeah, they have more years of life to go than we do. So I think they need more help they need more sleep than we do.
How much sleep do they need?
They need a lot of sleep.
10 hours?
I think so, at least.
I don't know, Mark.
Kids need 10 hours of sleep.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I don't know.
I hope Jay has a kid just to prove me wrong on all this stuff. Jay's like, I really, really want. I guess I should have done this to like just to prove a point. But son, you're boring because I used to do a podcast, and the guy I did it with wanted to start later, and that's why you're alive.
And that is why you have a PlayStation 5.
Jay's gonna come to our house and just like leave a PlayStation 5.
I could just show up to your house with an axe and be like, "Go the fuck to bed."
And what if we all just showed up at your house one night to do the show and just locked ourselves in a room?
What if like I was just thinking like one of the worst gifts you can give someone? What if you just like someone at your work with like their birthday, you just gave them a dog?
That's not a bad gift. I'd love a dog for my birthday.
It's so much responsibility.
You're like, here's a dog. Keep this alive. I'm sorry, what? Yeah, you know how you never wanted a dog or never cared about? Here's a dog. It's all yours. Bye.
I adopted this baby in your name.
I adopted this baby. Here, I got you twins. I'm sorry, what?
Here's a month's worth of diapers. We're good, right?
Yeah. Joe, Jay, you had a kid. I didn't even know you. Well, my friend thought it'd be funny to like adopt a kid and give it to me, and now I'm raising this kid. And anyway, it's a weird joke. And anyway, so I'm fucked.
It was funny
I don't have to put my dog to bed to do the podcast.
That's true.
Your dog's been nice and quiet all episode.
Yeah, he's sitting right here on my lap. Like
He's sitting in your lap the whole episode?
Well, he was when we started. Then he moved.
My cat's been pretty quiet too.
Is he quiet though because he's a ghost?
No, he's quiet because there's no activity going on. Usually, he was like 10 minutes before the show. There was a cat running outside, and he was barking like a maniac at him.
I just got my cat a toy, and it was quiet.
How old's your cat, Jay?
10.
Wow, how old the cats live? It's got
15.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about dogs? Similar?
Dogs. My dog's going to be 8 on Saturday, and they usually live to like 12, 13 maybe.
Yeah, cats live a couple years longer.
Yeah.
Right. When your dog is 12, would you get a second dog as like a replacement dog that he could train?
Maybe.
All right, we need to end this show.
Okay.
All right, goodbye, everybody. Oh, if you want to email us, thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com.
No one wants to email us. Go on.
Yeah, we haven't said that in like episodes. The Brink of Sanity.
Just say it.
That must be why we're not getting any emails.
The Brink of
We got
Sanity.
a lot of emails this episode.
Well, they were all around on one other person. thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com, Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter, Brink of Sanity on Instagram, and Brink of Sanity on Patreon. Help us reach our goal of $6 a month.
What's your social?
Social media or social security number?
Social security number. That's right.
My love. Goodbye, everybody. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone.